It was a chilly Tuesday evening, the kind that crept beneath your coat and settled in your bones. Rain came down in erratic bursts, smudging headlights and soaking the concrete. In a small town on the edge of winter's reach, a single dad named Michael trudged toward the bus stop, his young daughter Ruby's hand tightly wrapped in his own. Ruby was humming something cheerful, unaware of the storm that had been brewing far beyond the clouds, one that didn't come from the sky, but from fate. Michael had just finished a double shift at the local mechanic shop. The overtime paid for Ruby's school lunches and their modest two-bedroom apartment, but it left him drained. Still, as tired as he was, something at the corner of his vision caught his attention. There she was. A lone figure sat at the bus stop bench, drenched, shivering, and in uniform. Her military duffel bag sat on the soaked ground beside her. Her cap tilted low, barely shielding her from the rain. Michael paused, instinctively pulling Ruby behind him. He wasn't fearful. He was curious and concerned. Ruby whispered, "Daddy, why is that lady so wet? Doesn't she have a car like us?" Michael gave a small, hollow laugh. "Not everyone's got a car, sweetheart. Especially not our heroes." He took a deep breath and walked toward the woman. "Excuse me, miss, are you all right?" The soldier looked up. Her eyes were tired. Not the kind of tired that sleep fixes, but the soul-deep exhaustion of someone who's seen too much. "I'm fine," she said with a tight-lipped smile. "Just waiting for the next bus." "Missed the last one." Michael hesitated. Then said the words that would change both of their lives. "You're coming with me." The soldier blinked, confused. "I'm Michael. This is my daughter Ruby. And I'm not letting you sit out here 1 second longer. You fought for this country. The least we can do is offer you a warm meal and dry clothes." She hesitated, eyes glancing to the wet sidewalk. Then nodded. "Name's Elena," she said softly. "Staff Sergeant Elena Moore." And with that, Michael picked up her duffel bag and opened his car door. The ride home was quiet at first. Ruby chatted about her favorite stuffed animal, breaking the silence with a child's innocent warmth. Elena cracked a smile. Michael noticed her shoulders slowly relaxing. At home, Elena changed into one of Michael's sweatshirts. It hung loosely over her athletic frame, but she didn't care. She was warm. And for the first time in weeks, safe. Over a hot meal of spaghetti and garlic bread, Elena began to talk. Not about war or pain, but about home. About how her own family had passed on while she was deployed. How the world she returned to felt like a stranger. How she had nowhere to go and no one waiting. Michael listened. He didn't interrupt. His eyes never left hers. In his heart, something shifted. He didn't know what it was yet. Pity, admiration, connection, but it was powerful. As the night grew deeper, and Ruby fell asleep curled up beside the TV, Michael offered her the spare room. No strings. Just, stay as long as you need. Elena stared at him, tears swelling in her eyes. "Why are you doing this?" she asked. Michael replied softly, "Because someone should have." And in that quiet moment, under the hum of the heater and the ticking of the clock, something rare was born, trust. But the story was just beginning. Motivational outro line for Chapter 1, kindness doesn't need a reason, and sometimes the most broken people are the ones worth saving. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what happens next in this beautiful journey. Chapter 2, Healing in the Shelter of Love, 5,000 words. Elena didn't leave the next morning. She stayed for breakfast, then offered to help do dishes. She folded the laundry, helped Ruby with her homework, and even fixed a broken kitchen cabinet door without being asked. She had that soldier's instinct, always useful, always contributing. Days turned into weeks. Elena remained, but not as a guest. She became family. Michael watched how she treated Ruby, patient, kind, firm when needed. Ruby adored her. One day she drew a picture of all three of them and labeled it, "My Family." Michael found it on the fridge and just stared, heart pounding. But trauma doesn't dissolve in warmth alone. One night, Michael was awoken by muffled screams. Elena was having a nightmare. He rushed to her room to find her curled on the floor, fists clenched, whispering names of fallen comrades. He knelt beside her, wrapping a blanket around her shoulders. She clung to him like a drowning woman to driftwood. "I'm here," he whispered. "You're not alone anymore." The next morning, she apologized. But Michael didn't want apologies. He wanted her to understand that healing wasn't weakness. That needing someone wasn't surrender. Elena started therapy soon after. Michael helped her book the appointments. Drove her there. Waited in the car. Always there. Always steady. Spring arrived, and so did change. Michael was offered a better job, and with it, a better house. But he hesitated. He wasn't sure if Elena would stay. Then one night, while tucking Ruby in, Elena said something unexpected. "She calls me Mom sometimes when she's half asleep," she said, eyes brimming. I never correct her. Michael looked at her, and with a voice full of emotion, replied, "Maybe you shouldn't." They both knew what that meant. And one morning, in that new house, in a backyard filled with sunshine, Michael got down on one knee. "I don't care where you've been. I care where you're going. And I want to go there with you. Marry me, Elena." Tears spilled freely down her cheeks. "I never thought I'd belong anywhere again," she whispered. "But with you, and Ruby, I'm home." They married beneath a maple tree, Ruby as flower girl, her drawing framed beside the altar. From then on, Elena was no longer just a soldier. She was a mother. A wife. A warrior of a different kind. She'd found her final post, not a battlefield, but a family.